Good morning. My name is Allison Cochran. I am a teacher at Lambert High School. I'm here to present an overview of the data for our ninth grade literature and composition EOCTs. The purpose of this presentation is to examine student performance on ninth grade literature and composition EOCT over 4 years, to identify any achievement gaps between groups of students, and to think about strengths, weaknesses, and next steps for our school. First, let's take a look at our current situation. Lambert has a student population of 2,933 students. You can see the breakdown by ethnicity here. Overwhelmingly, we are a largely white population. Our teachers are a total of 156, 63 of which are male, 93 of which are female, and 124 of our 156 teachers have 3 or more years experience. 18 of our teachers are here in the English department to whom I'm speaking, and collectively we all have the responsibility of supporting our ninth graders. If we take a look at the demographics of the students we are testing over a 4-year period, we can see that almost all of our populations have steadily increased over the years, with the exception of the Hispanic population taking a small dip in year 3, but then back up in year 4, and that our white population has taken a small dip between years 3 and 4. And we can only expect more changes in all areas and subgroups of students as our county grows at such a rapid pace. Looking at our performance over the course of 4 years, you can see how much our students excel, with only 1 or 2% falling under the does not meet proficiency. And only about a quarter of our students are falling into only the meets category. Over 50% of our students are exceeding, which is excellent. Another encouraging insight from the data is where we stand in relation to state percentages. And here's the breakdown by each year. You can see from the line graph, LHS is the gray line, state of Georgia, yellow, that our does not meet falls well below that of the state average. And even though our meets is less, our exceeds far makes up for it. We are above the state every year by about 35 points each time. If we take a look at the percentage of students who meet or exceed as of year 4 and compare that with the system and the state, you can see that Lambert is again surpassing both with a 99% proficiency rate. Again, excellent results. However, we'd be remiss not to take a look a bit deeper and see if there are any areas which do need attention, and to analyze what we're doing right and how we can keep up the momentum that appears from these graphs. If we look at the breakdown here of 691 students tested, the mean number correct, and these numbers come from year 3, which was the last data available with this breakdown before they made some test changes, I believe. You can see that while we're exceeding, again, the system, reset, and state in all areas, we do have room for improvement, especially with reading, writing, and language use, which all have a 4 to 5 point discrepancy between the number possible and the number that our students are scoring correctly. I'd like to pause here for a moment and ask that you consider what may be contributing to these errors in the specific categories, and what might be contributing to the higher or fewer errors in the speaking and listening category. Hopefully some ideas are already popping into your mind, and we will have time for discussion in just a bit. Another interesting breakdown that I found was the gender percent proficiency comparison. As you can see at Lambert, In the does not meet, the males are a little bit higher. In the meets, they're a little bit higher, but then when we get to exceeds, they're actually a little bit lower than the females. And the same trend was true at the state level. There are more males not meeting the proficiency level and more males not exceeding than females. So I think that's something worth noting. Are we reaching our male students as much as the female students? And what can we do to help bring more of those male students from meets to exceeds? Let's talk about our strengths for just a moment. Again, over 50% of our students are reaching exceeds, and that is incredible. We are consistently meeting or exceeds in all areas. Our does not meet is well below that of the state percentage, and our exceeds is well above that of the state percentages. We are strong in speaking and listening, with our students only missing 1 or 2 points there. For our weaknesses, the 1 or 2% each year is still there, and that is still 1 or 2 students who need us. We must still strive to reach every single student. We will do this by continuing with differentiation, personalized learning, utilizing our Lunch and Learn plan, and any other ways that your content team may come up with. Wouldn't it be great if we had 0% does not meet, and if we had students not even missing 5 questions on the reading, writing, or language components? We must ensure that as our population continues to grow and change, that we are reaching all students, no matter their race, ethnicity, or gender. Here are some discussion questions to consider as we reflect and move forward. Number 1, how can we reach the few who are not meeting proficiency? Especially, how can we reach them without causing a lag in other students who are meeting and or exceeding? Number 2, how can we push more students from meets to exceeds? Number 3, what are we doing right to get such positive results on the EOCT? How can we maintain these high levels? I'd like for you to think about content teams and what you guys have created and your formative and summative assessments over the course of the year and how these may contribute to success on the EOCT. Number 4, what can we do to strengthen reading, writing, and language components of the EOCT? Finally, next steps to consider. I'd like for your content teams, not just 9th grade, since we know these students will be moving on and taking the American Lit EOCT in 11th grade, to open up discussion about the things presented here today. We know that the data does not lie. I recommend that you would use the questions on the previous slide to guide discussion in your content teams meetings this week, and then to offer feedback, solutions, ideas, to continue to utilize Lunch and Learn opportunity for students in need. And finally, to be encouraged and keep up the great work. I applaud you for the amazing work that has been done already, and may we not take such positive results for granted, lest we become stagnant. I encourage your team to continue doing what you are doing, but always with an eye for improvement whenever possible. Thank you, and please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you would like to discuss any of this data further.